Hey guys, Jay here, and today I want to talk a little bit about Diablo 4, the state of the game, mostly ranting about the bad things that are in the game right now and the problems I think that really need to be fixed, because I do think it has the potential to be a very good game actually. Despite the start, there's a lot of memes around it. Me, I am a part of the people who has been memeing on the game, has been pretty much hating on the game when it was released, because I think there is good reason for it. However, this season I finally tried out because I did not hear anything really bad about it in the first week of the season release. So I decided to give it a fair try, and boy oh boy, I did have a good time. Really good time, in fact, that I have a level 100 character in every single class so far the game has to offer. Minus this one, I am leveling it to level 100 as well. In every single class, I try to, do the end game activities, which is pretty much pushing the pit. And that is the point where everything went very horribly. So there's two problems just pretty much related to that point of boredom that I got from the game for all the classes. First thing first is the class balancing. The class balancing is absolutely dogshit. And within each class, the builds balancing, the ability strength in comparison to each other is also dogshit. And yeah, everyone who play the game right now will tell you one thing. If you ask them what is the best class in the game, it is the barbarian. It's not even close. And the second best is the rogue. And then super far down from that is the other classes. Yes, before the current patch, the sorcerer has the highest hit pushing build, but I would say it is a complete fluke. It's not real. The build is pretty much, abusing the fact that you can reduce the cooldown of Flame Shield and increase the duration of Flame Shield to a point where you have 100% uptime of Flame Shield, but it deals no damage. The person who is doing the highest pit clear spent like an hour, more than an hour, to clear one single pit. From what I heard, from what I see, and that thing is a farmable place. It's supposed to be farmed for material. It is not supposed to be like a sweaty encounter that you spend like hours and hours on it. Other classes, right? The barbarian, the rogue, you come to a point where either your damage is simply not enough anymore. Let me actually go to town and I can focus on talking about this shit, because man, oh man, I have a lot to talk about. The How Tides has ended. Well, the pit, the build diversity. Why do they make the most important thing in the game, that is build defining, the aspect, where the number of aspects in every single class is not the same? I do not understand. The aspects are so powerful. The aspects are build defining in every single way if you look at it. The skill tree is dog shit, right? The skill tree, there's not really any option on skills, to be fair. Yeah, you have two upgrades for each little skill here. And the skill, if you upgrade it, pretty much it increases the number of damage. That is it. That is very simple, straightforward. I can see this is a good point if, when it comes to like new player approaching the game, this is very easy to understand. And then later in the game, they will introduce the Paragon board, which is still very easy to understand, but a little bit more complicated than that. And then also, when you properly build a character as a new player, as a new character, you will come to all the aspect. When you unlock them, you can then, see and put things together to make an actual build that every single thing is functioning together. The aspect is super, super strong. They are always, always, always build defining in every single build in the game, I would say. And for some reason, this druid have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.5 because the aspect on the amulet slot is 1.5 times stronger. And then, so that is 8.5, not 7.5. And then 2 more points in the weapon. If you use a two-handed weapon, the aspect is twice stronger. If you use a two one-handed weapon or a one-handed and an offhand, it is one singular aspect, right? So you have, it's effectively 10.5 aspects, right? I think you understand what I'm trying to say. But it's only for the druid and for the sorcerer and for the necromancer. For the rogue, you have 2 additional aspects, which is 12.5. And then for the barbarian, you have 14.5 because you have 4 slot of weapon and 2 of them are two-handed. So that is a massive, massive, massive difference in terms of strength. Given that the aspects are mostly, a lot of them are class specific, however, I don't understand why they, make it that way. Simply make every class has, if not the same, at least close to the same number. I'm saying about relative number of aspect. This one is 10, that one should not be 40. Simple as that. I think they should try to do something to fix it. Either if they want to make, the classes to have more of an identity when it comes to gearing, right? So you don't have all the classes having the same kind of gear slot as the barbarian, but hey, you see here, you have additional space here, additional space here. You can have earrings here. You can have, underwear here or belt or whatever. There is additional gear slot that you can put into the game that can be class specific, right? For the sorcerer, you can, because, mages, sorcerers, they are often having like magic rings that is super strong, according to almost every lore, every game, every, comics in the world. So just make the aspect on the rings of the sorcerer twice as strong. Makes the helmet for the necromancers twice as strong. The druid, he needs the pants, so make the pants twice as strong for the druid. That's just example, right? Just example of things you can do. You can, of course, go the hard way of, balancing all the aspect correctly, because the aspect for the druid should be stronger because they have less aspect than a barbarian, sure. But isn't that so much harder than just adding more slot to the druid, to the sorcerer, to the necromancer? Way, 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 way easier of an approach, in my opinion. They should do that. Second, in terms of balancing classes, I think currently how it is working in Blizzard is they have different teams who are responsible for different classes. So the people who are balancing barbarian, they just do barbarian. They don't give a shit about other classes, and vice versa. I don't think those teams even talk together at all. I don't think they even, play the game on the same pace. The people who are balancing the barbarian is doing such a good job. Not perfect, but in comparison, they are doing massively, massively better than the druid, than the sorcerer. Sadly, the only hints, the only proof that the teams are working together is they are making a mistake. So last last patch the so-called strongest build in the game, and that is the whole different problem, by the way. I will talk about it later. The the strongest class in the game, the strongest not class but build in the game is the sorcerer. He is abusing the permanent flame shield, which makes your character completely invulnerable, and then also using the shatter keystone, I think, to clear. So it is called the best build. But in fact, it is a build that is simply invulnerable, and you can stand there and stare at the monster until they die. That is dog shit. From what I know, he can only kill one specific boss because they spawn ants, and he can explode the shatter keystone onto it. Yeah, and it takes like an hour or so. So that is not a real build, in my opinion, in my own opinion. It's not a real build at all. It is just abusing a broken mechanic and to just basically let the bosses and the monster die of old ages. That's not real. Beside that particular build, the sorcerer, all the other builds is dog shit. The druid, all the builds before this patch is dog shit. And then the necromancer, there is a broken build with billions and billions of damage surrounding the golem, but apparently it's a bug as well. So they removed that, they fixed that, and now it's just very bad, man. And on top of that, each class, probably I would say the druid, the sorcerer, and the necromancer have like 2 viable builds in all of the possibilities that I can have in the game. Barbarian have like twice as much, probably 4 or 5 builds. Rogue has the rapid fire, the heartseeker, the I think after patch there's the flurry rogue as well. So there's probably more, diversity in terms of builds that is viable for each classes. If it is rogue and barbarian, for the other 3 classes, the diversity is dog shit, absolutely dog shit. You can of course play anything in the game, but it would just be weaker. And you can argue, I mean, I am one of the person who can argue in a lot of different games, especially in PoE. I often play the PoE in my own pace. I don't really try to push like divine power in PoE. I don't try to clear map the fastest as I can in PoE. I don't care about people who are doing mirror tier build, mirror tier bow build that clear maps super fast, farm super efficiently. I don't care about them. So why the fuck do I care about the same thing in Diablo 4? Well, because that leads me to the second problem, the big boy problem, which is in this town, and if you play this game, you probably can guess that it is the pit. And I will explain a little bit for the people who don't know that the pit is a content that is an end game grind, right? In this character, I didn't even unlock it, but it is an end game grind. It has, I think, 200 levels is the cap, so it has a bunch of levels, and the higher the pit tier you go, the more reward you have, right? It would not be anything if the reward should just be like random gears, RNG gears, and the higher you go, the more chances you have like better gear. Hey, it's not like that. It is the grind that is for a mandatory, absolutely mandatory resource used to masterwork an item. And if you don't know what masterworking is, it is the upgrade for the end game. Right, masterworking here. I have one piece that is 12 out of 12 masterworking, and I have been using this for all the classes. But it's essentially what you do is you put in here, you get all the material and you upgrade, and then it has more stat. And yeah, that is it. That is a completely essential thing that every single character need to do to reach the highest possible amount of power, I would say. And everyone needs to master working. And they lock that material behind a content that has a pretty much a ladder on it. The pit, if you clear, I would say the most efficient known way to farm the pit is actually on tier 101, where you have 60 of the highest tier material, and then from then on there's a diminishing return in terms of how much resource you can have compared to, you know, the difficulty. But people still want to see what is the highest clear pit. And even if I don't care about it, I see it, you know, every single time, and it just feels horrible, right? Because why don't I push harder? I mean, it is a problem that should not exist. In PoE, there is Delve. Delve has an infinite, actual infinite, I think. At least no one has ever reached the highest depth, but it is infinite. The problem about the infinite content is should not be, you know, tied into anything that is mandatory whatsoever. And yeah, almost everyone, I would say, in PoE doesn't do delve that much. In fact, a lot of people do not even touch the content, not even do delve once. I myself did not touch delve in 3 months. I mean, not 3 months, 3 years. And I play every single PoE league. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes I see on the world chat there are people who reach, you know, an incredible depth in delve, and hey, ooh, that is very impressive. Yeah, I move on. I don't care. It doesn't bother me that people are stronger, people are pushing it, because I don't even do the content. I know it exists. I know it's cool. I know it's hard. I know it's impressive that they can reach those kind of things. But in this game, everywhere I see, especially because I am trying to make, you know, builds video or anything, or just any video on the Diablo 4 as a game. And so I watch Diablo 4 content as well. And everywhere I see, if it's related to any builds, people just, oh, what tier the pit that it can clear. Even though in my own video, I would say it as an example, I literally make a video on the title, and in every single word that I say from the beginning of the video is a leveling setup. It's meant for leveling. And people still ask, oh, what tier the pit this build can do? I mean, what the fuck? That is a absolute dogshit mentality. And it is created by an absolute dogshit game design decision. I think they should move the material from the pit to another places. Maybe the Nightmare Dungeon. It's okay. I think Nightmare Dungeon should be the place that you put the material in. This pit is simply, they should balance it around, you know, just more gear drop. Maybe just more gear drop. I mean, literally. For example, the boss of a tier 1 to 10 pit will drop one unique item. From tier 20, drop 2. Maybe later, three. You know, just scale them. So when you know, defeat a boss of the higher pit tier, it will make a loot explosion. And that is cool, right? Also, you don't need to make it like super spread out like this one. For example, they, instead of having 200 level pits, they can make 20 levels. This is just adding meaningless in-between levels that do nothing whatsoever. It's just very time consuming, and it served no purpose. I understand that the dev, maybe not the dev, but Diablo 4 owner, right? Blizzard, people who own Blizzard, want to keep the player in the game. And so if we are in the game for longer, there is a chance that we accidentally press this button. Oh, what the fuck is happening on the screen? And we can, you know, potentially buy something from here. But please no. Please balancing the game, you know, around, you know, the experience while playing the game. Jeez. Other than that, everything else is pretty good, I would say. I do feel like I am playing a single player MMO as I am playing Diablo 4. And I think that is not a bad thing personally. I'm not sure about other people, especially who also, let's just say, also play PoE like me. I really enjoy playing PoE, enjoy the grind, enjoy the gear progression, the RNG fest that is everywhere in the game. Not necessarily I want this game to be the exact same. If this is the exact same, why does it exist? So I think the game is different. That is a very good thing. I don't want it to be second PoE. There's PoE 2 for that, but even PoE 2 is different than PoE 1. So yeah, I think that's the rant for today. There is still a lot that I want to complain, but they are little things, right? Those are the two main big things that I want to I'm not sure, man. The normally the reason why I make a video is I want people to see it. I want people to, to get something helpful out of it, to get something that they will find interesting out of it. But this is literally just me ranting about a stupid problems in the game, right? So literally, this does not help anybody, any circumstances. But I just want to let it out, basically, right? I just want to talk about it because it has been bothering me since the first moment that I reached level 100 with my barbarian, which is the first character that I reached level 100 with. I do the pit. It just feels bad. And then when I play other classes, I see the other problem with the balancing. If they can, potentially fix this two big things, I think this one will be a absolutely amazing game. No doubt. Obviously, for a let's just say full-time jobless person like me, who plays a lot, there's no way you can keep me playing this game 365 days out of a year. No, 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 no. I played multiple games, but when a season came out, I would like to expect a good month out of it, a good 1 month out of it, and then a good 1 month out of PoE, then a good 1 month out of PoE 2, a good 1 month out of Last Epoch, and hey, that is a 4 month cycle, and I'm happy all the time, right? So I do hope that D4 will fix the problems. I think they are the most blatant problem in the game, and it's not just me, but everyone I have seen so far, at least on YouTube, whenever they see the patch note, everyone laugh at something in the patch note that they know about it specifically. For example, Rob, the barbarian guy, he doesn't he laugh about all the other classes, and yeah, you got the idea, right? Everyone can see the stupidity in a lot of the nerfs that they are doing. Everyone can see the stupidity of fixing the flame shield by making it only on cooldown after the flame shield is inactive, right? So when it's turn on, it's just turn on. Hey, that's okay. But why the fuck do you apply it to Grizzly Rage? It's already, man, it's already an ultimate, and this is a buff skill, right? That does not break the game in any circumstances. Why do they need to, make the Grizzly Rage cooldown start after the duration finished? It's just absolutely dog shit decision. And yeah, I don't understand. They are some of the decision just make me think that the people who are making those decisions are so disconnected from the game itself, which is supposed to be the thing that they are good at, which is supposed to be the thing that they need to know the most. But apparently, I can safely say that they know less than a random noob like me who just started playing the game for a month. That sounds arrogant, but fuck, they made me say it. I don't want to say it. I don't think that way, but they make me think that way. Because there's just something so stupid, right? So stupid. And yeah, that's everything I want to talk about. So I'm not going to even ask about liking and subscribing because this video, as I say, literally doesn't have anyone. Peace.